In this video, I'm going to share with you the toys that I recommend for 1 to 1.5-year-olds. Now, these children love to play with these toys, and most importantly, these toys are going to be great for their development. When we go through the list, you might be pleasantly surprised that a lot of these toys are very simple and cost effective. What I have found over the years practicing as a pediatric occupational therapist is that the ones that are quite expensive and marketed towards this age are generally a bit too complex for them to play with, and they prefer the simpler toys. So that's exactly what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the toys that your little one will actually play with. Now, before we get into those toys, if you want to know what milestones your 12-month-old should be achieving, then make sure you click on that free PDF document in the description box below to get the developmental milestones for the first year of life. So let's talk about the toys which are going to be great for your little ones' fine motor skills, so working on their ability to use their hands. Now, what you will notice is that around 12 months of age, children tend to stop mouthing toys so much, and they start to work on fitting toys together, so how they fit inside each other, and then that precise placement of toys. So great toys at this age for their fine motor skills are actually the nesting cups or stacking cups. And what these are great for is that initially your little one will start to put the cups inside each other, but they will also use the nesting cup to place one block on top of the other, or one circle on top of the other, which is that precise placement of toys. What you will find out is that the circular nesting cups are better than these ones, which are the square ones. That's simply because a baby who is 1 to 1.5 finds it really difficult to put the square cup inside the other square cup. They are going to be able to succeed with the circular nesting cups, and they won't be able to do this until they're around 2 years of age. So I would get a circular nesting cup. Ring stackers are also another great toy at this age. Now, initially your little one would have just been pulling the ring stackers off, but now what we're wanting is that they will start to put them on. So instead of sucking these toys, what they are doing is actually using it for its purpose and putting the rings on and then taking them off and then putting them back on again. They do lots and lots of repetitive play. Pop-up toys are also another great toy at this age. So again, they're working on that pointer to activate the button so that the item will come up, and then they use their pointer to push it back down. But it's also working on other types of grips, so that pincer grip to slide, and most importantly at 12 months of age they learn the skill to be able to turn this button so it will pop that up, and that's a skill in itself, which is quite exciting. Shape sorters are also another great toy at this age. So initially they would have just been putting all the toys in and then dumping them out, but at 12 months of age they've extended on this skill and they can now use that shape sorter for its purpose. So you put the lid back on and they'll be able to put the circular shape into that circle hole. It takes them a little while longer to be able to put in the square and the triangle shapes, and that's simply because those shapes require the little one turns their wrist to manipulate it so it fits through the slot, whereas the circle doesn't require much turning of the wrist at all. They can just pick up the circles and then it slots straight into that hole. Ball runs are also another great toy at this age. It works on that precise release, but it's very much cause and effect. So your little one drops the ball and then it rotates all the way down, and then they're watching it comes out, obviously. Now that is another great motivator for them to crawl or to walk to go get that ball to then come back and start that game again. The next toy you can get is an inset puzzle for your little one. These ones are fantastic. So what you want is an inset puzzle. So it's a puzzle piece that slots into a kind of groove, but you want to have ones that have kind of little knobs on the top so that they can work on their pincer grip. So they should be relatively small at this point so they can work on that precise grip, and they would just generally pinch it and then pull that puzzle piece out. Now it's going to be hard for them to put it in, particularly if the puzzle pieces are all these different shapes. But if you can get an inset puzzle which has like a circle, a square and a triangle, then your little one is definitely going to be able to put that circle into that inset puzzle, and then they'll move on to the other shapes. Now you can also get inset puzzles which actually kind of make some noise when the little one removes the puzzle piece or puts it in, and that is really good because at this age the kids are very much in that cause and effect phase. So if they do something, they wonder what's going to happen next, so it provides some kind of motivation to continue playing. Now this is an example of one, and I'm just going to pull one of the puzzle pieces out, but when you pull it out it plays a nursery rhyme. But that is a fantastic way to get your little one's attention so that they'll crawl over and then they'll start playing with this toy as well. So if you can find one with music in it, It's really quite fantastic. Your little one will also like playing with blocks at this age. So generally they're just the smaller size blocks. You could use the ones that come in the shape sorters, or if you've got a push trolley that came with blocks, then you would use those. And what you're looking for in modeling to your little one at this point is that they can put one block on top of the other. So just 2 blocks and you build it up. And that is something that they will constantly do. They'll build up a tower and then they'll knock it over, and then you can keep playing that game. Kids at this age also like balls of any type really, because they're going to throw it, they're going to chase it, and they're going to crawl or walk after it. It's really handy if you can get a ball that makes some noise or has some light, so that when they throw it and it makes contact with the floor, then it lights up, and that again provides them with some motivation to keep playing with the toy. 1 to 1.5 year olds also like playing with any toy that they can bang. So any hammer kind of toy or musical toys at this age are amazing. So particularly the xylophone, but there's a really handy toy out there at the moment that you can, it has balls and you bang the balls down and then they run along a xylophone and make some noise. But you can also remove that xylophone so they can play with it, and that is listed in the description box below. Children at this age also really enjoy drawing. So generally they will use a fisted grip, but their accuracy isn't amazing. So what you want to do is ensure that you are getting toxic-free material and also ones that are washable or wipeable. So I tend to really like the mess-free mats. The other things that I really like are crayons. So larger kind of size crayons, not pencils. And that's simply because when you're using a pencil, you have to get it on a particular angle, and often that's too difficult for little ones and they are unlikely to make a mark with that pencil, so then they'll stop playing with it. Whereas they're going to have more success with large crayons that they can hold or large textures. And I've also used a whiteboard and non-toxic whiteboard markers at this age as well, because it's something that is really easy to clean up when it goes off the whiteboard and onto the table or the floor. Now let's move on to what types of books you can get for 1 to 1.5 year olds, which is going to help facilitate their communication skills. So when you're looking at books for this age range, what you want to look for are board books, and they are books with really thick pages, and this ensures that when the little one is playing with them, they aren't going to accidentally rip them. Now you can get a touch and feel board book where there's different types of material and the little one touches it, and what you can do when they're reading these books, or you're reading them to them, is start to label what the different material is. So you might say it's fluffy, it's smooth, it's bumpy, and that can help them recognize what those words mean. The other types of board books you can get are the ones that have flaps. So I tend to really like the ones that have animals or noises, and that's purely because when they lift that flap, I can label what that animal is, and I can also make that animal noise. And what 1 to 1.5 year olds start to do is they start to make the animal noises when they see the picture. So this is a great way to teach them what all the different animals are and what noises they make, so that they can start to communicate that to you. And lastly, you can also get kind of books which are musical. So you turn the page and they make a music. And this is something that will help work on that pincer grip with their little one, but it will also help to keep them motivated and engaged. And there's also generally buttons on there, but it plays music, which kids at this age really love, and they start to bop around when they hear it. At 1 to 1.5 years of age, you can also start to get some toys which are going to promote your little one's pretend play. So they're not really engaging in a whole lot of pretend play or joint play at the moment. They will play beside another peer. But what is amazing is they've moved on from just exploring a toy, so looking at the texture of it and the taste and the look of it, to actually using the toy for its purpose. So at this age, they really like playing with vehicles of any sort. So generally I would prefer to get the larger vehicles that are quite sturdy and quite easy to clean. Little Friends have a large variety of options available, and generally there is some part of the toy which you can activate and it would make a noise. So with this one, it's a little man at the front and you just push it down and then he starts making a noise. So it's something fun and interactive for the little one. Animal toys are also great at this age. Now just be a bit wary, there are some toys out there which are animals that are really heavy. So they're quite high quality, but because of that, they're really, really heavy. and they hurt when the little one drops it on themselves, and they are going to do that quite a lot. And they're also going to throw the toy because that is how they initially play and explore. So if you're looking at animal toys, do try and get the ones that are a bit lighter weight. At this age, I also like to give a little one a teddy bear or a doll and a pretend little play kit. Inside that, it has generally a bottle, some bibs, a plate and a spoon, and maybe a blanket. Now initially your little one is going to actually use those on themselves. So they'll start to brush their own hair, they'll give themselves the bottle, but then they will progress to giving the bottle to the teddy bear or the doll. At this age, toys which encourage a little one to crawl around or stand and walk are fantastic. So string toys are really great at this age. Kids often like pulling them along when they're crawling or up walking. What I do find is sometimes some kids and their temperament means that they get really frustrated when the toy that's attached to the string falls over. So if that's your little one, you might want to go towards the toys where they're on the end of a stick and they just push them along and they make noise as they push them along. Push and go cars are also really great at motivating a little one to continue to crawl and get up and walk around. The other great toy at this age is actually the push trolleys. So these are fantastic because it gives a little one a bit of confidence when they're not yet walking to move around, but also as they are able to walk, they start to use them as trolleys and place lots of different things in them. Now, if you want advice on what type of push trolley to get and the pros and cons of each, then make sure you check out this video. Click on that free PDF document in the description box below, and I will see you next week where I'll share more parenting tips and tricks.